Hi, everybody. We're going to go in a specific order of presentation, both for the initial statement and also for the questions. All the individuals here that are going to speak through straws, like they did in the old days. Number one will be Mr. Harmon. Number two will be Lamar White. Number three will be Dr. Slusser. Number four will be Evanchyk. Number five will be Dr. Kelley. And number six will be Dr. McAllister, based upon how they drew their straws. After we finish their initial comments, there are three questions that each will be asked. We'll start out in that same order. For the first question, and the second question, I'll drop down one, and the third question, I'll drop down one, and we'll go through the whole order back up to the first two. Anybody have any questions? That's good. I've got the questions. Okay, Mr. Harmon, it's all yours.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? I'm gonna take this microphone. I think I heard an instruction. The red button come on, and you should be able to hear me well. Okay, I'm not gonna try to read from my notes because sometimes you can't hear me if I don't hold the mic close to my mouth. So I'm gonna start out by introducing myself. My name is Willie Harmon. I'm running for a school board district, District 1. I have my lovely wife with me, Rebecca, who's joining me today. Again, I'm running for a school board seat for one reason only, because our school board has lost its integrity, as you can say, and what we're trying to do now is try to reconstruct our school board system so that it can accommodate the needs of Okaloosa County residents. Again, right now in Okaloosa County we have so many issues that's before us, and I just got one that was brought to my attention earlier this week. We have a superintendent, which my heart still is never to say nothing bad about her, but she's a superintendent that doesn't have any administration skills, didn't get any training in being a superintendent of sort. I think Mr. White would probably be a better superintendent because he has some skill, but just to say that, those are some things that need to be addressed. We need to make sure that we address the proper people on our board and in our district to run our school board. There's 3 seats that's going to be open for election this year. I am running against Mr. White. I have nothing bad to say about him, but I do know that I would be a better candidate because, as Alby would say, I would be trying to work with the local residents here in Okaloosa County to see what the students need, what our residents need here in Okaloosa County. That's one of the issues that I would be addressing. And again, I just like to try to restore our school board to its proper function as a oversight committee. And that's what we should be doing. Right now, Miss Mary Beth, if we had the proper oversight when she was elected, it probably would have never took place. But then again, we had some certain issues that took place during our election last year that had to be addressed. But again, my main reason, again, I just want to be able to serve Okaloosa County residents. I'm running for District 1, but the whole county is very important to me, not just the small schools. We're working with a $400 million budget, and my another issue that I have is why can't our elected people we have in office budget our funding? Why can't we find we have a funding failure? Some of the problem would be that I have my fingers go up, but I really want to share this with you, that there is a way that we can afford to not have to raise taxes, and our school board meets the need with the funding that we have. But again, we run into snags where people are scared to take a stand for certain things. And my job would be to make a stand for whatever is right. I don't want to, I won't be persuaded by big time politicians and people that's a little more educated than I am. I will stand for what's right. I will make sure that people's needs will be met and that we're able to address issues in our county. We just spent $1 million. It was a closed door meeting where a young man sued somebody in Baker. It is not publicized. We're publicizing something on TV now, but there was a vote that somebody said, they didn't want to pay these people out, and it was a racial thing. I still got fingers going up. I got 2 minutes left, but I have so much to say and share with you. I'm hoping whatever I'm saying is clear and you understand what I'm saying, because I prayed before I started that my words come out clear and that you're able to understand me. Again, we have so many issues here in Okaloosa County that needs to be addressed, and I pray that we're able to address it in the next election in August 28th. And I do pray that I get your vote in August on the 28th. Again, my main concern would be to try to get accountability addressed and some of these other issues that we have. And I never go to some of these meetings and talk about my educational background. My mother was an educator. I don't talk about that. My sister's been an educator for 30-something years. I got into the education. I worked for the Okaloosa County School Board because I wanted to know, what do educators do? Right now, our educators are scared to even stand up because there's no discipline for some of the issues that take place in our schools. And again, our schools should be about safe schools. Our kids should not go to school and be worried about, is something going to happen or are they going to be bullied? But I do stand for a second chance for all students. Because a student make a mistake, he shouldn't be sent to some kind of program or academy to help the juvenile system, because that's what's really happening. If our children get in trouble, they get sent to one of these programs and sent into the juvenile system program, and that's not what they need. We need to have restructure. We need to have second chance programs that our kids can be addressed on how to be disciplined and things of that nature. I got 30 seconds. Again, I guess I'm going to be waiting for questions next. But my main concern is, I thank you guys for allowing me to come out to speak to you this evening. And again, I pray that I will receive your vote in August the 28th. And again, I thank you for your time. I think my time is up. I don't want to be mannerable and do things in a timely manner. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Harmon. The next speaker is Mr. White.
Well, hello, and I am Lamar White, and that's my wife, Connie. And first of all, I would like to thank you for the invitation to be here tonight.
I don't think the microphone works.
Okay, thank you. Tonight I will address the talking points that you emailed to me. And as you know, Mr. Willie Harmon is trying to unseat me. So a choice is offered to the voters. Voters will make a comparison between me and Mr. Willie Harmon. If you've not viewed my many financial contributions on the Supervisor of Elections webpage, please do so. You will see Republicans, NPAs, and Democrats financially supporting my campaign. My actions as a school board member in a nonpartisan race hopefully are more important to you than my political affiliation or Mr. Harmon's political affiliation or anything else. Judge me on what I bring to the table to make the right decisions for students, teachers, parents, and citizens. And for me, you have one more thing to judge me on. Judge me by my actions on your school board. So I'm asking for your vote for re-election to the school board. My record as your school board member is outstanding. I have successfully promoted increased instructional time, government transparency, and corrective policy pertaining to child abuse allegations and civil rights violations, and putting our nation's and our state's motto in our schools, "In God We Trust," a law actually sponsored by Representative Ken Daniels, a Jacksonville Democrat. For the last 2 years, I have served as chairman of the school board. Our campaign is going very strong. I am qualified for the election. I paid the qualifying fee from my own pocket, from my own personal funds, not from my campaign contributions. I think you probably know that our school district is ranked as one of the top school districts in Florida in every measure. My motions provided that school board meetings are videoed and played on the internet for viewing at very, very low cost. I made successful motions requiring notification of the school board whenever confirming investigations of child abuse, sexual harassment, and/or violation of civil rights occur. And I recommended a standing agenda item for public comment. This is a political campaign in which Mr. Willie Harmon is attempting to unseat me. By every and any measure, I am the candidate offering the best of everything in this race. Regarding your talking points, I have distributed a brief answer guide, and I look forward to answering your questions. Please vote for Lamar White School Board District 1 on August 28, 2018. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. The next speaker is Dr. Slusser.
Can you hear me? Is it working?
Yes, all right.
What? Like an ice cream cone, right? I love ice cream, but I'm diabetic, so I just have this cone problem, no ice cream. Well, I'm Dr. Joe Slusser. Most of you know me. One of the things they told us is don't go over the stuff that we talked about in the past. You can look at the papers, this little pamphlet or rack item. You can look at it. You can see what my degrees are in and what my experience is in. But I'm going to tell you why I am running for school, and my allergies are really badly out. You know, I retired from the school system here in 2014. I ran the EBD program, the Emotional Behavior Disorder. And I had no intention of doing that when I retired after 31 years in Kentucky and coming down here. I came down to fish and to garden and play golf. I don't play golf very well. I garden fairly well, and I fish terrible. But I love doing all three of them. You know, I came down here, and Bob Jones is retired as principal of Crestview High School. Many of you know Mr. Jones. I knew him for many years ago up in Kentucky. And he asked me if I would come and help set up what was then called the SED, Severely Emotionally Disturbed. And when I came over, I was working on my doctorate in special needs. And Bob and the staff at Richburg School said, we'll work with you. You just tell us what we need to do. So we totally revamped the whole thing to make it more parent and child friendly. It wasn't like you were throwing someone into a cell anymore. It was a nurturing that we did for these kids. And during the 13 years and a half that I ran that program until I retired in 2014, 79 students came through our program. And that doesn't sound like a lot. 79, and of that 79, 74 of them were male and the others female. And the great thing is, when I was retiring, we figured out our rate of success with these children. These are children that many people refer to as throwaways. Not to me, they're not. No way were they going to be throwaways. And our percentage rate was 86.2% success. Those kids got back into the regular program, stayed out of detention centers, and stayed out of jail. And as a chaplain in jail, I'll be honest with you, in the past years, 9.5 years I've been a chaplain, I retired the 31st of March. Many of you already knew that. 2 of them I saw in the jail, and it broke my heart. I did not want to ever see them in a jail situation. One of them for domestic abuse, and the other for writing a bad check. You know, you can't get them all, but what we need to do is try our best to save many. You know, it's like in the military that you hear this, some gave all, you know, many gave some and some gave all. Well, with these kids, a lot of times we neglect them. We turn our backs on so many kids that have special needs. That's where my heart is. That's why in 2014 I ran against Mr. Walker the first time. Mr. Walker's not running, it's an empty seat. So I'm not going to tell you all these other things that you've heard about me. You can look at my brochure, you can look at the website and find out more about me. But my heart is to save the kids. It's all about the kids. That's why I'm going back into this. I have the skill, I have the experience, I have the credentials. Not that big a deal. The main thing is, why am I running? It's to save the kids. And I believe that every child should have a special program. Not just an individual education plan, an IEP for the special needs kids. All of our kids are special. From kindergarten to high. And all the way from the ones that have the lowest IQs to the ones that are geniuses. We need to have someone sitting in that chair when Mr. Walker gets up for that last day to sit there, to represent the kids, the parents, the community, and our future. And I hope you vote for me August the 28th. Thank you.